In a quiet little village, everyone trusted one lazy orange cat named Muffin to guard Grandfather Raman's grocery shop. The only problem was, Muffin loved sleeping much more than working. One afternoon, Muffin whispered the strangest idea anyone had ever heard into the tiny mouse Pip's ear. Pip couldn't believe what he had just heard. Every morning, Grandfather Raman filled his cozy grocery shop with fresh fish, milk, cheese, vegetables, and grains before happily opening the doors to welcome customers. While Muffin stretched and yawned on her favorite chair, Pip quietly watched everything from his little mouse hole beneath the grain sacks. Before leaving for lunch, Grandfather Raman smiled at Muffin and said, "Take good care of my shop." Muffin gave a sleepy nod and almost fell asleep again. Hidden behind the wooden fence, 3 hungry stray cats watched the grocery shop with one thing on their minds: stealing every fresh fish they could find. Pip overheard their secret plan. His tiny heart raced. If the thieves succeeded, poor Grandfather Raman would lose everything. Pip hurried over and pulled on Muffin's whiskers, trying everything he could to wake the sleepy guard cat before it was too late. Suddenly, Muffin jumped high into the air with wide-open eyes, wondering what had caused such an unexpected wake-up call. When Pip explained the danger, Muffin calmly smiled and suggested the most ridiculous plan imaginable: hide the fish before the thieves could steal them. Although he thought the plan sounded completely crazy, Pip bravely dragged each fish across the floor and carefully hid them behind the vegetable baskets. When the 3 sneaky cats quietly entered the shop, they stared at the empty fish shelf in complete confusion. Every single fish had disappeared. A few moments later, Grandfather Raman returned and froze in surprise when he saw the empty shelf. Where had all the fish gone? After searching the shop, Grandfather finally discovered the fish safely hidden behind the vegetables. Smiling with relief, he believed he had simply forgotten where he placed them. Outside, the disappointed thieves refused to give up. They asked a clever black crow to spy on the little mouse and discover where the fish were hidden. Perched quietly near the window, the clever crow carefully watched Pip, hoping to uncover the secret hiding place. Feeling proud that the fish were safe, Pip happily checked on the hidden stash. Unfortunately, he had no idea that someone was secretly watching him. As Pip walked back across the shop, he noticed strange shadows moving behind him. Something didn't feel right anymore. Trying to sneak closer, the 3 thieves accidentally crashed into one another, knocking over baskets, milk cans, and vegetables in a noisy chain reaction.
The loud crash finally woke Muffin, who slowly looked around in confusion, while Pip pointed toward the tangled thieves.
Got red pawed, the thieves quickly pretended they were only exercising inside the grocery shop. Pip wasn't fooled for even 1 second. Instead of chasing them away, Muffin politely asked the thieves to leave, The three cats couldn't believe a guard cat would be so calm. Thinking they had won, the thieves rushed toward the hidden fish while Pip desperately searched for a way to stop them. Thinking quickly, Pip grabbed a hanging rope and pulled with all his tiny strength, just as the first thief ran underneath. A huge grain sack dropped from above, sending all three thieves tumbling across the floor in the funniest chain of accidents anyone had ever seen. Hearing the loud commotion, Grandfather Raman hurried into the shop. By the time he arrived, everything looked like one giant mystery. The frightened thieves scrambled through the window as fast as they could, leaving behind nothing but confusion and a very messy grocery shop. Wanting to protect his fish, Grandfather Raman installed a shiny brass bell above the shelf so he would know if anyone tried to steal them again. That very night, under the bright moonlight, the determined thieves quietly returned for one final attempt. Hidden safely behind a grain sack, Pip tossed a tiny pebble that distracted the leader just as he reached for the fish. The second thief stepped on a loose cabbage leaf, slipped wildly across the floor, and accidentally grabbed the bell rope. The brass bell rang loudly through the entire grocery shop. Everyone froze in surprise as the loud sound echoed everywhere. Startled by the ringing bell, the clever crow flapped wildly through the shop and knocked over a basket full of rolling potatoes. One thief slipped on the potatoes and slid straight into an empty wooden barrel, making the entire shop even more chaotic. Then a giant flour sack burst open, covering all three thieves from head to toe. They looked less like cats and more like funny little ghosts. Grandfather Raman rushed in with his lantern and found the fish completely safe, while three mysterious white ghost cats fled into the night. By morning, the whole village was talking about the mysterious ghost cats that protected the grocery shop. Nobody knew the real story. As a quiet thank you, Grandfather placed fresh milk for Muffin and a delicious piece of cheese near Pip's little home, even though he never knew who the real heroes were. From that day on, the laziest cat and the cleverest mouse became the most unlikely friends, sharing laughter together outside the grocery shop every evening. And that is how one sleepy cat and one tiny mouse proved that teamwork, kindness, and a little clever thinking can solve even the funniest problems. If you enjoyed this adventure, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and join us for another amazing story.